morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you may be. Welcome back to the Rainbow Pitch League here. Top 8 action quarterfinals. We have Summer playing Azalea. Potentially the last big event Azalea is going to see play in against Tasha on Verdance. And I don't know if I've ever seen this matchup before. Never in my life. Not once.
No, never. This is... this is, I think, a little bit of a common matchup. We do have 2 of these matchups in top 8, actually. 2 Verdance versus Azalea games. And yeah, I believe this game is Azalea favored, but Verdance tends to be able to play defensively pretty well, so we'll see.
Now, for both of these players, both of them have... No, one of them has been featured in the Swiss so far, which is, of course, Summer, our Redline Supernova, our Sabrina-loving girly, and, she showed us in the Swiss portion that she does have what it takes to deal with Verdances. But, of course, this isn't a Swiss Verdance we're talking about. This is a top 8 Verdance. And, Tasha, relative newcomer, I believe that it started in Rosetta-ish, about a year or so. So, yeah, we have an experienced Rainbow Pitch League participant here against someone trying to make a name for herself. And I don't know, very exciting. I don't know if we can add much more to the context of this game. We've seen this matchup before. And we know it's going to be an uphill climb for Tasha to deal with this, but, she's on the top 8 for a reason. And so is Summer. So, I don't know. Do you have any more notes about this matchup?
No, not really. I'm really excited to see, how this goes. See, as you said, Summer, of course, has, been a friend of the league, friend of the pod for a very long time, so it's been really excited to see her perform really well and make it to top 8 this season. But at the same time, it's equally exciting to see someone like Tasha come in and take the league by storm and be like, oh, okay, you have everyone's attention now, let's see what you can do. So I'm excited to jump right in. Yeah, after a word from our sponsors, of course.
Keeping up with Flesh and Blood finance is one of the most stressful things that I can think of. I'm so bad with money, and honestly, finding a deal and then trying to figure out whether it is actually a deal or whether I'm spending too much is something that I just don't really want to deal with, even though I really should. Thankfully, TCG Ted does all of this work for us. Ted meticulously breaks down all the hottest cards and checks their values and trends to make sure that you can make informed decisions. But not only that, he also does case breaks so that you can get your pack opening fix from the comfort of your own home. Ted has been working with us now since the first league, so we're once again so proud to announce we're going to be celebrating our community again thanks to his support. If you want to learn more about Flesh and Blood finance from a friendly face, please make sure to check out TCG Ted on YouTube. His link will be down below. Thank you to TCG Ted for the sponsor. Eight action here at the Rainbow Pitch League Season 3, and I get excited at the thought of watching more Azalea versus Verdance. We have on the left Summer, our number 2 seed, on the Azalea, and on the right we have Tasha playing Verdance, our number 7 seed. So for those who aren't aware about how the bracketology works, we have 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, and 4, 5. And of course the higher seed gets to choose who goes first, and unsurprisingly with Azalea's ability to dominate, Summer has chosen to take the turn 0 of the game.
So we are going to get a Dead Threads activation and loading in a
Bolton shot yellow.
Bolton shot. Okay.
A nifty attack. It's an arrow that gains go again if its power is greater than its base, and also provides an on hit of being able to reload should it hit. But it looks like Summer was just passing priority there, and Tasha choosing to gain some life with Everbloom Life. Just kind of, build up that life total a little bit. It does reduce the number of cards that Tasha has availability to block with this turn. And now, because of how priorities work, Summer has the opportunity to consider this turn again and potentially apply more pressure. What I will note here on the equipment is that we see Waning Moon on the Verdance's side, which does imply to me more that we're likely to see the non-combo aspect of Verdance, kind of the grind game. And Tasha, she does have access to both Waning Moon and Surgeon Aethertide, so this is a conscious choice here. And it looks like we're going for a different play. Sorry, excuse me. With one fewer card in Tasha's hand, the shields are down a little bit, and now we can guarantee the dominate because this is a knock the death whistle on turn 0.
Yep, so we have the knock the death whistle.
And for a pretty powerful arrow there as well. That is Heat Seeker. On hit, you get to put the top card of your deck into an empty arsenal zone. That is not optional. You don't get to choose whether it is going there or not, so you can kind of lock yourself a little bit, but for the most part, it's just straight card advantage. This is 5 with Dominate. And with no defense reactions in Arsenal, we're going to have to see some equipment blocks if we want this to not hit. Not a bad turn 0.
Not a bad turn 0 at all. Another thing that I would note about the equipment that you mentioned earlier is Tasha is on Waning Moon and Storm Striders here, and I think it's worth noting that Summer has no AB, or it looks like no prevention of any sort for Arcane. And I think it's also just worth mentioning as a general note for our top 8. During the Swiss rounds, our players were allowed to change their deck list from week to week. We just asked that they did it within reason and not metagame that too hard. But they were allowed to change their deck list from week to week. However, the top 8, we did require them to lock in a deck list ahead of time and also submit that deck list to us and the rest of their top 8. So this is pretty face-up game. Warmonger's Diplomacy coming down. This is a devastating card against Azalea. I love that Tasha provided little War and Peace. So this is, we won't have to do any guessing. Thank you so much. That is so considerate.
And of course, as the Azalea player, this is definitely not the card you want to see here. War and Peace kind of awkward. War and Peace. Warmonger's Diplomacy kind of awkward as Verdance as well, because she does tend to play both attacks and non-attacks that are both impactful, but it's helped by the fact that Tasha's able to arsenal a card. So no matter what Tasha draws here, she knows that she's going to have access to at least whatever she chose, in this case, Peace. And it's going to have a play next turn regardless, basically, assuming that she doesn't have to block with everything. But
yeah, I love the way that it did this, just kind of putting War at the top towards Summer and Peace at the bottom towards herself. So that's so helpful.
So, before the game started, I was almost entirely certain that Summer was going to play the Enchanted Quiver. That was the quiver I expected to see here. It's a spell void, functionally. But this is why we're seeing the Quiver of Rustling Leaves here. It looks like Summer didn't have access to an arrow to kind of fill the void and apply pressure here. So using that quiver allowed her to look at the top of the deck and place that into the arsenal instead. So we're getting an attack for 8, and not just any attack, this is specifically Endless Arrows, which does have a powerful on-hit of going back to hand, being a bit of card advantage, acting like a weapon of sorts for Azalea. So defending this out with 2 defense reactions here, kind of where you want to be if you're Tasha, because you do not want that going back into the pool of available cards. And for a brief moment, Summer thought it was an ally and attempted to put that into her graveyard face down, but did not, thankfully. Now, let's see if Tasha's turn is actually peaceful or not, because she does run a lot of non-attack actions. Oh, it is! Never mind. Okay, kind of. This
We'll
is...
see. Okay.
Ring of Roses. This is a legendary by mechanic card for Verdance, which that gains 1 life every time you deal arcane damage. And the Waning Moon comes in after that as well as an instant activation.
Yep, dealing 2 and gaining Tasha 1.
Mm-hmm.
Tasha at 43. We have a lace with inertia, being played into a release the tension.
Mm-hmm. Just a lowly +6 for now.
Yeah.
And a second copy of Heatseeker. So, no Dominate this time, but this is 11 damage with a powerful on hit with 2 cards still in hand as well. Like, maybe we're looking at a Rain Razor situation. Maybe we're not. That's the kind of thing about instants. But usually you'd expect, especially with like a Heatseeker, like a 3rd card to come in. Or maybe we're going to see like a Snapdragon Scalar's activation here, and maybe this is kind of like a test to see how much Tasha wants to block this. This is a lot of damage. So you will have to stop a world's worth of damage if you want to. No, that didn't work. That was too forced. There was like a Chapel Road reference there. But never mind.
It's okay. Not everything can be a Chapel Road reference, unfortunately.
But everything should be.
Yeah.
Something about having to stop a world of damage to stop the feeling of this inertia, but like, you know. Moment passed. Sorry, Summer.
Tasha having a think here on blocks, understandable. This is... Are you laughing at? The viewers can't see it. I did have a cat just like crawling from one shoulder to the other shoulder.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The best part is I didn't even see the cat, just like the cat's tail just like brush across your face. But we do have the Snapdragon Scalar's activation here that I did mention. So we have defense for 8 on 11. This Heatseeker is still going to hit, but the turn's going to keep on going nonetheless after this, making use of those 2 cards in hand. And ideally for Summer being able to use the card that she's potentially able to get off the top. Does Tasha have another defense reaction? Yes. Yes, it does. Not playing around the Rain Razors, successfully predicting that it was going to be the Snapdragon Scalars used there. So, is that a 3rd copy of Heatseeker?
I do believe that is a 3rd copy of Heatseeker.
Wow. 8 more damage.
Wow.
Just really powering through all of this. And because of Tasha's heavy defenses on the previous attack, she's only left with 1 card left in hand to try to defend this with. And we finally get the Heatseeker hit on this turn. So no more action points, but we are going to have a double arsenal situation thanks to that new horizon. That's a premeditate and an unknown. Going to the arsenal, 6-card hand coming for summer, or rather, being there for summer. Into this 1-card, 1 arsenal.
Okay, a cadaver's tilling.
What's our soil count at the moment? Is it at 4 now?
I believe it's 4. Yeah, 4 now. We've seen 2 decompose. So this cadaver's tilling coming in for 8.
Huge. And like, it's the exact kind of decomposed cards you want to see earlier in the game. Is this cadaver's tilling? Like, it doesn't have any sort of benefit for a certain number of soil. Decomposed earth cards. So, you know, you don't mind playing these ones early. Whereas, like, if you're playing your felling or your plow unders earlier on, you're losing out on a bit of value. So, this is another card to go in Tasha's discard pile. This is not a felling of the crown, so she still has access to that later on. Kind of, yeah, the ideal card to have there. But we are getting a premeditate into a falcon wing, coming in for 6 with go again. With a ponder on hit.
Ponder on hit,
And these are just the cards that were in Summer's arsenal. Like, this is not the 4 cards still in her hand. And that kind of shows you the power of the synergy between Heatseeker and New Horizon.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Tasha's just taking some time to think here. Is of course this is a 6 power attack threatening an on hit, but as you just mentioned, these are just the cards from Arsenal. Tasha has to consider that Summer still has 4 card hand to work with after this 6 power attack.
And of course, Ponder is a pretty powerful like token to have here. It's a pretty powerful end of turn effect to have, but it is ultimately a random card. It's not going to be guaranteed. Like, it doesn't have the same sort of like face-up impact that something like a Blood Rot token has, for example, or an Inertia token has. Summer is going for another Ponder token here with another copy of Premeditate, and also wanting to actually wear down on the equipment. So there's 3 defensive pieces of equipment on Tasha's side. We have the Crown of Providence, we have the Stone Wall Gauntlet, and we have the Bark Skin of the Millennium Tree. So this -1 counter, if it hits, is going to do quite a bit of defensive damage to Tasha. And maybe force some of these equipment just to block, which will open up the path for Dominates in the future to get through a lot more easily. But for the meantime, just 10 Dominate.
Yeah, I mean, a Lace with Inertia, Premeditate, knock the Death Whistle into... What is that? Does it matter? It's 10 Dominate.
That's a Drill Shot.
Drill Shot, thank you.
Okay, so the Stonewall Gauntlet is reducing its power by 1. We get the Crown of Providence block as well, so we're currently blocking 7 on 9, and then there's the discarded mental block as 2 prevented damage, proving that Summer...
That's 9.
Yeah, that's 9. And Summer's not the only one who's going to end this turn with a Ponder token. Wizards can do it too. Everyone can have a little think.
Yeah, what a defensive hand to have. A nice spot to have it as well. I believe we did not see any effect from that Crown of Providence. Just
No, that's scary.
Just using it for its block. Yeah. All right. We've got the candle one.
Heartbeat of Candlehold? Is that what it's called? No.
Heartbeat of Candlehold.
Oh,
I wanted to say Pulse, but it's not Pulse. It's Heartbeat.
It is Heartbeat.
The Pulse cards are the dual card.
Yeah, and that's like a super efficient turn here. Like, the Heartbeat's worth 3 life. Yeah. You're dealing No, I'm lying. You're not dealing any arcane damage through... Oh, no, you are, because you get to then get in with the Waning Moon, which will then gain you that extra life. So it's like... That's like a 2-card 8, I think. Yeah, that's respectable.
Yeah, really efficient.
Or is it 7? No, it's not. I'm overcounting numbers. Waning Moon only does 2 during your turn. But still, it's a 2-card hand, and more importantly, that's another Earth card, because, like, Tasha has been aggressively decomposing, so she hasn't been able to... Like, all of her decomposes so far is double Earth. But now she's got 2 Earth there, which means that if it draws Felling of the Crown or Plow Under, suddenly way more impactful. But speaking of impactful, we see the first Rain Razors of the game on a naturally go again attack, so we're going to get at least one more attack here that gets the +2 buff. We could see a third attack here that gets the +2 buff, because that is a Bolton shot. Almost kind of making it a must block, which is a pretty good feeling for a yellow. This is getting +5, so this is 8 go again with the on-hit of reloading that last card in hand. If that's a 0 cost arrow, it's another 6 damage coming through. Or 5, depending what it is.
Or 5, depending what it is. Yeah, we did see the endless arrow pitch here, which I think is a little interesting. Makes me curious what that last card in hand would be.
You almost have to assume it's a 0 cost, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're putting the Bolton Shot in Arsenal, you want to follow up play with this, especially with the Rain Razors active. So, that's a good tell that there's probably another attack after this. Very great. Very great. Very good point.
Tasha taking a moment to think here, which I think is so fair. I have to commend Tasha. It has been so intentional with every block and just kind of like, even in the last turn, as I mentioned, like, it didn't block that first attack that came from Summer, which was just the cards from Arsenal, and did give Summer the Ponder token, but then managed to generate her own Ponder token. So, looks like we are going to get the block with the chess piece again, and then that is a Burn Bear and an Arcane 20. What's that?
So just a cheeky defense for 9 there on the 8, but of course, like you suggested, that's probably a 0 cost arrow in Summer's hand that's now in the arsenal, and there's no way you really want that to attack you. So you get defensive all you can, and also not getting punished for having no cards in arsenal there. We have Plow Under, removing that last card in arsenal, and claiming all the tempo back. This is now 6 damage. The soil count is at 6.
6.
And I think because of the Barkskin getting destroyed as well, like, this Plow Under is going to be card number 8 as future soil material. So, if you're Tasha, like, you played this game so well. I don't know why I'm saying you've played this game so well. She's played this game so well. It's played this game so well. But just being, very defensive, very mindful of the damage, and keeping the life total safe. Like, giving yourself a nice pillow, because, Summer has done a great job to wear down Tasha's equipment, and blocking from this point onwards is going to be more difficult, especially because we've seen a number of defense reactions already, plus a mental block. You could have a turn like this, where you're attacking for, like, roughly 86 damage.
This is a little absurd. Yeah, so we've got a... What is this? Read the Glide Path and...
Scout the
Is that
Periphery?
a Seek and Destroy? Scout the Periphery. A Lace with Blood Rot. Release the Tension. I mean... 16 damage. We have to... Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then there's potentially 2 more damage. Summer gets to put a -1 counter on the Storm Striders if she wants. Doesn't do anything, but she could do it if she wants. But also, that was just huge. Not as disruptive as you like, but as soon as you see 3 resources being put into the pitch zone, you have to assume it's a Felling of the Crown. Arguably the best card in any Earth Heroes deck. 8 damage, forces a card out of your opponent's hand, and of course, Tasha doesn't lose anything out of this exchange. She has no cards in hand. The Verdance has been flipped over to the front side. Verdance has text. So now whenever she gains life, she deals 1 point of arcane damage. That Ring of Roses is going to gain... Oh god, how does this work again? They play off each other. There's going to be more arcane damage and more life gain.
How does this work again?
There's something. She's going to deal arcane damage. When she deals arcane damage, she's going to gain life. And when she gains life, she's going to do more arcane damage. It's not a never-ending cycle, but it's going to feel like that.
It's going to feel like that, yeah.
And the life total is still very close. Like, Tasha's doing a great job of walking these life totals down, defending where necessary. I think this one is a Seek and Destroy.
I think that's a Seek and Destroy. They always look the same to me when we're commentating. The Seek and Destroy and the Scout the Periphery.
That's not Seek and Destroy, sorry. That's a Codex of Inertia.
It's a book.
It's a book.
Codex of Inertia, correct.
When we were doing commentary for the League that means nothing, you told me that all the books were burned. But there's clearly one still here.
I guess they didn't burn the codexes.
No, they probably didn't want to touch them, and honestly, fair. Those are disease-riddled. Speaking of burning, this is a Searing Shot coming in for 7 with on-hit 1 life loss. Coming for a potential 8 of Tasha's 13 remaining life.
This is over 50% of Tasha's remaining life.
Slowly convincing you to work on your percentages, you know?
I do enough math every day.
Yeah, Sam. But we still do it anyway. Tasha down to 5. Life total's fairly precarious. 1 dominate attack could be enough, but Tasha choosing not to defend so much here because she wants to make the most of this hand. And this is the 3rd heartbeat of Candlehold, gaining 3 life, dealing arcane damage. There's 3 instances of 1 in play. No arcane barrier currently. And we also know that there is no shelter from the storm on Summer's side of the field to stop this. So that's going to come through. One of the arcane points of damage, also triggering the Ring of Roses to gain 1 life, deal more damage. Here we have a Fruits of the Forest. Just really, this life total swing is wild. Tasha started this turn on 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a Warmonger's Diplomacy? No.
7 to 11. This is really something.
This is 7 to 11, like you said, but this is definitely not convenient if you're a Summer. And there's still 2 resources there for the Waning Moon as well, you know? This is about as well as this could have gone if you're Tasha.
Or Tasha also choosing war here on the Warmonger's Diplomacy.
Mm-hmm. And this is the risky Warmonger's Diplomacy where you don't have the guaranteed arsenal to do something. But on the other hand, you can always block with some cards arsenal like an arcane damage spell, something like a Burn Bear, and kind of go for that Storm Strider's kill on the other turn. Now here we have Searing Shot that's coming in for 4. Even with 2 Razor Reflexes, which is like the only thing Summer can kind of do to buff this, you can still live through that. But it looks like we're just going for the kill right now. There's the Storm Strider's activation. And here we have a Pulsing Ether Life coming in for 4 arcane damage and 1 life gain.
And the Ring of Roses is still...
Yeah. Does Ring of Roses affect when your opponent's turn as well? Oh, looks like we're getting a little ruling check here. You can't actually do this while you're still under peace, I think.
So I believe actually what the ruling is that you can, because the wording on Warmonger's Diplomacy is if they choose worthy actions, they may play or activate during their next turn.
Oh.
Or weapon. And this is Summer's turn, so Tasha actually can do this.
Today I learned. And the
Oh,
Ring of
and the
Roses.
last. Okay,
Oh,
so
there's also Waning Moon. Okay, there was all sorts
it's
of
gonna be
done.
Waning Moon.
Congratulations to Tasha for taking out this game.
All right. Well, that is another top 8 game down. I don't know what order we're posting these in, but congratulations to Tasha for taking down that game on Verdance. Yeah, let's talk about it. Sorry. Why?
Oh, special guest commentator. Yeah, a surprising result, one could say. Like, again, very favourite to Azalea, as we've seen throughout the league. But Tasha really honed in on this top 8 with a massive amount of defense reactions that we saw there. I believe she had 10 defense reactions, not including the mental blocks, which kind of act like those as well. Really getting around the dominate, stopping all the damage. But, usually, like, Azalea can kind of power through that to an extent. But we were kind of... I keep on saying we. Summer was kind of lacking on the disruptive elements that prevent that from happening. Like, there was no inertia tokens, or very few inertia tokens throughout that game, and very few blood rot tokens.
Yeah, I mean, you see that. We did see quite a bit of lace with inertia, if I remember correctly. We saw one blood rot token go down. I mean, it's just really hard when, like, Tasha, played that game very defensively, and also it did see, 2 Warbongers Diplomacies, and 2 Ring of Roses, and 2 Pulse of Candle. Heartbeat of Candle Holds. What was that?
1 Ring of Roses?
Was it just the one?
The card's legendary.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm crazy.
It stays in play. It's like you have it
That's
forever.
why I was like, it never went away. So we saw the Ring of Roses and the 2 Heartbeat of Candle Holds, I believe, after Verdance was already turned on. So, and also Tasha was able to present arcane damage consistently with Waning Moon, and Summer didn't present any arcane barriers, so I think it was just kind of Tasha was able to play to that angle and slowly chip away Summer's life total with arcane.
Yeah, definitely relying a lot less on the combo, not trying to high roll this game, knowing that she has the ability to block everything out, or at least block enough out that you can kind of walk the life totals down. Like, we've talked about this throughout the course of this league. That's what Verdance wants to do. Shout out to Scott for teaching me that phrase. But, so it was able to walk the life totals down, gain life at the start of the game when she could, make sure that she had that life buffer so when she lost her equipment, she was still able to keep the life totals healthy. And even though it dropped down to 5 life at one point of the game, that didn't last very long. Suddenly, bam, what was it? The Heartbeat, the Fruits of the Forest, the Ring of Roses as well. That's like 6 points of life gone back into her favor. And at that point, the sheer amount of advantage just from incidental life gain was kind of a bit too much. And ultimately, like you mentioned, not having the arcane barrier was kind of a detriment to Summer's ability to kind of live through this arcane damage. There wasn't that many physical attacks that we saw, and the ones that we did hit, admittedly. One of them was the Cadaverous Tilling, which had no effect. It was fairly early in the game, and Summer wasn't able to defend that out purely for the purpose of wanting to apply a whole bunch of pressure back. And then, of course, there's the Felling of the Crown as well that did a whole bunch of damage, including Summer's Hand and the Plow Under, are the 3 main attacks that were used in that game. And then after that, it was arcane damage, just a whole bunch of arcane damage. And of course, there was the conscious decision on the equipment. Like, you can use Bullseye Braces for a source of arcane barrier. You can have the Enchanted Quiver as a source of Spell Void to kind of prevent some of this stuff. And ultimately, Summer decided that she wanted to play around 1 Warmonger's Diplomacy but there's really no way to play around the second one, no matter how you
Yeah.
sideboard, unless you have Trench, and that wasn't an option. And yeah, the second Warmong's Diplomacy kind of just like really stopping any sort of momentum Summer could have had to get back into that game.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that I'm not sure that there was too much more that could have been done from Summer's side with the game plan that she presented this game, because she really was throwing massive attacks. I mean, we saw like arrows for 16 and just like with a million on hits going on. So it's just like, what? Yeah, you know. I think both players came in here with a specific game plan, and we just saw Tasha's come to fruition before Summer's. Really well played from both players, and of course, congratulations to Tasha for moving on to top 4, and also congratulations for Summer. I know we said at the beginning of this game, but we have really seen Summer over the course of the 3 years just like become an absolutely dominant player and proven herself in this league this season. So congratulations. She worked really hard and definitely deserved the top 8, as Tasha as well, obviously moving on to the semifinals. But I just wanted, give both of these players a massive shout out.
Undoubtedly, and you know, Summer, you've come this far, and you've grown each year, so like clearly next year you're taking the next step up. But for the meantime, we have other players whose time it is, including Tasha, who's made it in our top 4. So congratulations to Tasha, well done to Summer. If you particularly love more Verdance versus Azalea gaming, there's more of that in the Swiss. There's another one to come in the top 8, depending on which order you're watching these in, between Robin and Maddie. And then, of course, there's other games as well with other fantastic heroes. So make sure you check out everything. And until then, we will see you all next time. Goodbye.